The three works of God, the first one being creation. God carried out all creation in the universe, all stars, planets, everything in the universe. On earth, He created all terrain, seas, animals, all vegetation, all fruit, in order to carry out His purpose of creation, which was to create man as an image and likeness of Him. After God created the earth, man would have a place to live, food from the earth, the sun during the day, and the moon to illuminate him at night. God gave him the task of naming each animal, and with that act, man had sovereignty over all the animals that lived subject to the will of man. We can read about this creation in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. Yahweh God shaped man from the soil of the ground and blew the breath of life into his nostrils, and man became a living being. Here I want to open a parenthesis to examine what has happened. The body, quote, the body of a man has been created from the soil of the ground. In a woman, when a male sperm enters into the egg of a woman in her womb, a body, quote, a body of a man or woman is formed. Simultaneously, a breath of life from God, which is the soul, enters into a human being is formed. To continue, verse 8. Yahweh God planted in a garden in Eden, and there He put the man He had fashioned. Number 9. From the soil, Yahweh God caused to grow every kind of tree, enticing to look at and good to eat, with the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Verse 15. Yahweh God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and take care of it. Verse 16. Then Yahweh God gave the man this command, quote, you are free to eat of all the trees in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you are not to eat. For the day you eat, that day you are doomed to die. Adam was created in the likeness of God, because he had the same will as God had. Adam and God shared one will, God's will, and he was created to live eternally the same as God. That is why Adam had total dominion over all creation, and he was supposed to transmit that same dominion to his progeny, us. During his life in the Garden of Eden, all acts that Adam did were divine acts, because he was living the divine will, and as such are eternal, and Adam carries with him the benefits of these divine acts. More about this later on a future video. We know what happened with Adam when his wife Eve offers him the forbidden fruit that Satan had told Eve that eating it would make them like God. Adam accepts it and eats it. The tree it came from was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Up to that point, Adam had never been confronted with evil. It did not exist in Eden, because evil does not exist by itself. It is the result of a will of a man acting against the will of God. Before this action, Adam was living in the divine will of God. He had the same will, but eating the forbidden fruit, he used according to his human will. At that moment, he separated from the, quote, the likeness of God, close quote, and the first sin was committed in creation. The immediate result is that death enters into creation by the created man. This act of Adam did not surprise God. He knew it would happen. He is God, and he had the solution to this. The fact that Adam separated himself and consequently all of future humanity will also be separated from the likeness of God. That means us. Meant that the purpose God had of creation has not been completed. This was the first work of God, creation. God bless you. May your kingdom come and your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Fiat.